regardless to 240 kilos. So this is just 10 kilos of this man's personal best.
Yeah, he got the silver medal last year in the World Championships in the clean and jerk. Was only 5th in the snatch, so as you say, David, that's his weaker discipline. The result was that he just missed out on the overall medals. But he is very strong overhead.
Yes, looks much more comfortable with the clean and jerk.
And Pavel Nidek, 131.90. That's lighter than the Bulgarian Damianov. Of course, it's lighter than Hossein Razazadeh, the Olympic champion. It's also lighter, David, than Artem Udashin of the Ukraine, who's got the bronze medal in the snatch division. So 131.90 for Nidek, if he can keep lifting well now, could just possibly get him something of a consolation prize. And it would be nice for the host nation and the organisers to finish with a man on the podium. But I doubt it won't be the overall podium. So here comes the man who's in silver medal position at the halfway stage. Damianov, or as we've now nicknamed him, Dangerous Damianov. But how dangerous? Remember, he was feeling that right elbow, which is the reason why he didn't take the 3rd snatch. But you're reasonably confident, David, because this doesn't put the same sort of stress as a snatch.
That's right. There's a good chance that he will be able to carry on into the in the clean and jerk. Cleans very easily. Chucks the hands out. Well, he's got a total 445 and moves straight into first place.
I'll tell you what, you convinced he's just 23 years of age?
I think maybe they dug him out of the ice 23 years ago. I don't know about him being 23 years of age.
I mean, a lot of people say, you know, sort of, well, what are these weightlifters like? And, you know, some people are saying, we don't actually know him that well. But, you know, people say, oh, well, you know, Agata Robles always seems pretty serious. But, you know, we know that she's got a fantastic personality, really nice and friendly. And the chances are that, you know, this is a great bloke to have a beer with. As long as you're buying and he's drinking. Now this is Udashim, the Ukrainian.
So this will give him the 440 that he suggested he was capable of. Needs to get underneath, and does really well to hold on to that. Drove it out, made a technical mistake, pushed the bar forward, and was quick enough to take a few steps forward, get his body weight back under, and hold. But he seems to be having some, limped off the stage there, so he seems to be having some problems. But
well, this was terrific. I mean, it'd be good if we could just see the lower part of his body here, because he did it. That's now watch here. Out, corrected, strong, as you said, David, very good recovery.
So he now has 440.
Bulgarian, here he is, Damianov, 245. Still, of course, to start, Razazadeh.
Yes, he's posted 252.5.
Puts the arms out a little bit wider to make the chuck a little bit easier, and I think he'll get that.
I'm not so sure. I think he presses it out slightly.
2-1.
He's doing the right thing. He's got his arms up in the air as if to say, well, you're right, 2-1. But it just, again, it underlines there was a slight press out there. I mean, we'll see it again on the slow-mo. And he was given it, but Ashot was not. Although not quite as easy to see from the side.
No, you need that front angle to be sure to give you a best chance, but he knows how to play the audience. And of course, every one of those 5 men of the jury, not to mention the 3 referees, can rightfully be a bit petrified of this man glaring down at them. You dare give me a red. What will 440 bring him today? Well, Nidek is not a threat to him in terms of overall medals, but Nidek must now surely really take this opportunity. He's a big fan of the absent Ronnie Vella.
Zdecydowanie. Nic z tego.
Huge weight.
I teraz pionie, Paweł.
And the weight definitely getting to him now, David.
Yes, it's just not there today.
He's given it his best shot, a medal not to be. Well, we could do with Chemerkin coming in and getting his next lift and a big...
Well, if Chemerkin doesn't get a lift at 2:45, then the pole, because he's lighter, could still actually get a bronze on the clean and jerk, but it's a big if. It's the Russian who isn't in his best form. Snatched 192.5, was 15 kilos down, came in at 225. We haven't seen him since then, so I'm not sure if he's actually pulled out. But this man's still in the competition, even though he hasn't managed to succeed with the clean and jerk yet.
So Andrei Chemerkin.
I have to say, David, he didn't look impressive on that first attempt. It was a million miles away.
Oh, he's used enormous power to get that on his shoulders.
Well,
that is a press out. There's
no question.
There is no way.
And he knows it. He knows it.
And they know it as well. You could just see how much he struggled to get that on his shoulders. Look at that, David. He's really using up so much energy, so much power. And remember, this is a man who is and has proved himself capable of lifting enormous weights. 262.5, which he lifted in Chiang Mai in 1997. And that's 242.5 for a total of 442.5. So it's not exactly an improvement, is it? And that was the bronze medal. Bronze in the Worlds, bronze in the 2000 Olympics. It's good to see him in the fight because, you know, he's only 30. But can he ever come back to dominate in the way that he did in the mid-90s?
Well, there's your answer.
The answer is, David, that it's most unlikely, isn't it? Russia really need to find their new super heavyweight. I mean, it could be in time, Macheryakov, but you get the feeling that
Well, it looks as if their younger super heavyweight isn't going on in the clean.
No, I meant generally for the future. I mean, I think you're absolutely right, because here comes Razazadeh, and so Metriakov, who actually withdrew from the European Championships, if you remember, and being lighter than Udashem.
Always 0.8 of a kilo lighter, so
doesn't matter if it's 0.1 of a kilo.
So at least the Poles will get something on the last day.
Yeah, that'll be a welcome surprise, I think, and a fair consolation to Nidek that he's got a medal on his own home platform. But now the Olympic champion, Jose Razazadeh.
Yes, I think the Bulgarian has called it a day, knowing that he can't really beat this man. Well, the great thing about this lift, David, is that he's obviously world champion. Nobody can do anything about it. So 2 lifts left. Now, world standard, 262.5.
World total, 472.5. And this is very good, David, because the Iranians have had a pretty miserable time up till now. This is the first man who's really looked world-class, you know, in world-class condition. And the Asian Games, he had a really soft ride there, and maybe that was just the perfect build-up. You know, he only had to total 440 there, 200, 240, 440 to win the Asian Games title, and he was a street ahead of everybody else. But this is a superb way, if he can do it. And if he can do it, I think he'll just take this one. He won't bother with the third one.
Well, you never know. Maybe he'll want the total as well. I think it just depends on what happens here.
Well, we're praying with him as well. Immensely strong man. Arguably the strongest man in the world.
Oh, look at how easy that was.
Clean and jerk, world standard has been established. 263 kilos. He surpasses that 1997 mark of Andrei Chemurkin, which is unofficial. But now Hossein Razazadeh of Iran is the world's clean and jerk champion. The perfect finish, the icing on the cake. And isn't that just great, David?
Fantastic. Well, I read some articles. His coach had said that he felt that this would be the first man to break the 600-pound mark, which is 272.5 kilos, and the way he cleaned that weight. Do you doubt it?
No, and he's not going to take. I mean, he's got another lift if he wants it, but I can't see it. I mean, very difficult actually, because there's so much emotion there, there's so much adrenaline. Look at this. The clean was wonderful.
Yes, it looked almost like an empty bar. To work a bit harder on the jerk, but not that much harder. So, is that it? Or are we going for the total world record? This is the question.
I mean, he could come out and he probably would get it, but I don't know, emotionally at the moment, everybody's on a high, David. There's a huge buzz around the hall. The man has, you know, he's won it in style. He's world class. He's ahead of everybody else. He's demolished the rest of the field. The mean machine from Bulgaria, Dangerous Damian, no match for Hossein Razazadeh. And I'll tell you what, a fit Ronnie Weller would have found